All right, let's dive into this deep dive you requested.
Lots of material here.
Yeah, a ton on business transformation and AI and how to reach those strategic goals you're after.
It looks like you're really ready to take your company to that next level.
Definitely seems that way. And I'm seeing a lot of interest here in using AI to smooth out those transformations.
Make them more successful?
And maybe even boost your company's value while you're at it.
For sure.
We found 2 frameworks in all this that really jumped out at us.
Oh, yeah.
The BusinessGPS.ai Ascend model. And then there's this AI-led business transformation strategy success map.
Those are both great, and they seem to complement each other.
In a way that could be super powerful for you. So.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah, and this idea of AI avatars guiding your journey keeps coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Which is pretty futuristic, right?
It is.
But first, let's break down this Business GPS AI Ascend model.
Okay.
It lays out this 3-phase journey, foundation, adaptive, and preemptive. Or, as they put it, adopt, O2O, adapt, and ascend.
Oh, I see. I like how that shows a very clear progression.
Yeah.
You build a solid knowledge base first.
Right.
Then you move into actively adapting your operations.
Yeah.
And finally, you ascend to market leadership.
Exactly. So let's say you're just starting out. You're in that foundation phase, the adopt phase.
Okay.
What should you be focusing on?
Well, this is where you lay the groundwork.
Okay.
Business GPS puts a lot of emphasis on the O2O element here.
O2O.
Opportunity to operations.
Yeah.
It's all about taking that big picture vision and turning it into an operational reality.
So not enough to just have a great idea.
Yeah.
You've got to figure out how to make it happen on the ground.
And then as you shift into that adaptive phase, O2O, adapt, it becomes all about adapting, right?
Right.
You're responding to changes in the market, optimizing those operations.
Becoming more agile.
Yeah, more agile, exactly.
And then ascend, that's where things get really interesting.
That's where it all comes together.
This is about hitting that market leadership.
Becoming what they call a digital core.
And it seems like technology really is central here.
Throughout the whole journey.
But especially in that final phase.
Yeah, they even talk about biz tech mastery.
Which really highlights that mastering technology is key to leading the market.
Absolutely.
That makes me think about all this talk about AI avatars.
Oh, yeah.
Could mastering biz tech mean incorporating AI into decision-making at every level?
I think that's definitely a possibility. And that's where the AI-led business transformation strategy success map comes into play.
Okay.
It breaks down transformation into 3 core areas.
Okay.
Insight, enablement, and activation.
And how do these map onto the different stages of the journey?
Well, they map onto the different stages of your journey, from understanding your current position to empowering your team and then launching those transformation initiatives.
So they lay out 9 specific steps within these areas.
They do. It's almost like a checklist for success.
I like what I find helpful is that they address the common struggles executives face.
At each step.
At each step.
Oh, yeah.
Things like information overload,
Sure.
misaligned goals, resistance to change.
They really seem to have thought about the human element here.
For sure. And they have these readiness cheat sheets for each of those 9 steps.
I love that.
It's like a mini assessment to see how ready you are for each stage.
Yeah.
They point out potential pitfalls and highlight proven results.
Very valuable.
Which I think could be really useful as you go through this whole process.
Totally.
So let's say you're right at the beginning. You're ready to tune in to the business landscape.
Okay.
What kind of insights would that cheat sheet offer?
Well, first, it would tell you to make sure you don't get bogged down in information overload.
Easy to do.
It's easy to get overwhelmed by data and then miss those crucial opportunities, or even worse, misinterpret the information that you have.
Right, because there's so much data out there.
There is.
That it can be completely paralyzing.
Yeah. So how do these cheat sheets help cut through the noise?
I don't know. How do they?
They give you a framework for focusing your attention on the most critical elements.
Okay.
So the tune-in cheat sheet, for example, might prompt you to look at market trends, assess your competitive landscape, and analyze your internal strengths and weaknesses.
So it's not just about gathering data.
Right.
It's about understanding what it all means for you.
For your business, exactly.
For your specific business.
And the cheat sheet would highlight the importance of looking for patterns, identifying potential disruptions.
Oh, okay.
And understanding how all of these factors might affect your future success.
So once you've tuned in,
yeah,
you have a good understanding of your landscape.
Okay.
What's next?
Then you set targets.
which is all about.
It's all about setting those clear, ambitious goals that are aligned with your overall business vision.
But isn't there a risk of setting goals that are too vague or just disconnected from how you'll actually execute them?
Yeah, and that's actually one of the common struggles they talk about in the Set Targets cheat sheet.
Oh, okay.
They really emphasize the importance of having specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals.
The SMART goals framework.
Exactly, that's the one.
And having those clear metrics is key for tracking your progress and making sure everyone is accountable.
If you don't have that,
Otherwise, you lose sight of what you're trying to do.
you can. It's easy to get off track,
Yeah.
and it helps to keep everyone aligned, working toward the same objectives.
So we've tuned in.
Right.
We've set targets.
Okay.
Now we have to figure out how to actually reach those goals.
And that's where crystallized strategy comes in.
Okay.
This step is taking those ambitions and turning them into a clear, actionable plan.
Right.
You're identifying key initiatives,
Okay.
allocating resources, and setting those timelines.
So moving from the what to the how.
Exactly.
But is there a risk of getting stuck in analysis paralysis here?
Oh, big time. That's a classic pitfall.
Yeah.
And the cheat sheet for this step really stresses how important it is to avoid that trap.
Okay.
It encourages you to think strategically, but decisively.
So finding that balance between
Thoughtful planning?
thoughtful planning and actually taking action.
Exactly. They also emphasize having a strategy that's not only comprehensive, but also easy to understand and communicate.
Right. Because if it's too complicated,
Throughout the organization.
no one's going to follow it.
No. A complex, convoluted strategy is just as bad as having no strategy at all.
I like that. So we've covered the first 3 steps of the AI-led business transformation strategy success map, all within that insight area.
We have.
We've tuned in, we've set targets, and we've crystallized strategy.
Right.
What's next on this transformation journey?
Well, now we move into the enablement phase,
Okay.
which is all about putting the pieces in place to execute on that carefully crafted strategy.
This is where the rubber meets the road.
This is it. It's about building the capabilities, securing those resources, and fostering the right mindset to drive successful change.
And I bet there's a cheat sheet for each step.
You know it.
I had a feeling. But before we get into the enablement phase,
Okay.
let's stop here and we'll pick up the conversation in the next part of our deep dive.
Sounds good.
All right, so we've laid the groundwork for this business transformation journey.
We've got those first 3 steps of the AI-led business transformation strategy success map down.
And now we're ready to jump into the enablement phase,
This is where you really start equipping your business to make those changes happen.
where the rubber meets the road.
Exactly. And the first step here is engineer adaptive platform.
Okay, engineer adaptive platform.
This is all about building that solid, flexible technology foundation.
Okay, like the launch pad for your rocket ship.
Exactly. Think Launchpad.
I like that metaphor, but what does that look like in real life?
What are those key elements of an adaptive platform?
Like in a business, yeah.
It's about making sure your technology and your business objectives are aligned.
Makes sense.
You have to assess your current tech, see if there are any gaps,
Uh-huh.
and make sure you're not being held back by any old legacy systems.
I bet that's a big one for a lot of companies,
It is, yeah.
hanging on to those outdated systems.
The adaptive platform cheat sheet even warns about that.
Does it?
It encourages you to really look at how scalable your tech is
Okay.
and make sure your investments are future-proof
Right, because if your tech can't adapt, your transformation is going to be limited.
right from the start.
So it's not about having the newest, coolest tech.
No.
It's about having the right tech that can grow with you.
Tech that can evolve as your business does.
So it needs to be agile,
Responsive to change.
allowing you to experiment
Iterate.
and scale up quickly.
All of that. Now our rocket ship needs a crew, right?
Right. And that brings us to the next step in this enablement phase.
Assemble change champions.
Assembling the team.
It's all about finding the people in your organization who can drive this transformation forward.
Okay, so it's more than just understanding the vision.
It is.
It's about being passionate about making it a reality.
You need those influential, skilled communicators
People who can really inspire others.
and navigate those inevitable bumps in the road.
Because there are always bumps.
Always. They're the ones who can champion this change from within.
From the ground up.
I think the Change Champions cheat sheet gives some guidance here
On how to find these people.
on how to find them, nurture them. It talks about recognizing those potential leaders,
Okay.
assessing their skills, looking at any talent gaps you might have.
And I would think overcoming resistance to change is huge.
It's a big one.
Having those champions on your side would make a world of difference.
For sure. Because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
transformation is driven by people, not just technology.
Not just processes.
No.
So we've got our team.
We do.
The final step in this enablement phase is optimize change strategy.
Right. What are we focusing on here?
What is it?
This is where you take a step back and look at that change strategy.
Okay.
Are the timelines still realistic?
Okay.
Do we have the right resources allocated?
Right.
Is our approach flexible enough to handle anything unexpected?
So it's not set it and forget it.
No.
You're constantly monitoring.
Evaluating, adjusting as needed.
Exactly. So the optimized change strategy cheat sheet, talk about this.
It really emphasizes that point.
Okay.
It tells you to analyze those potential impacts.
Yeah.
Stay adaptable to changing needs and avoid getting stuck in those old ways of doing things.
So agility is key.
It's huge.
Being able to pivot.
Adjust course as you go.
Because no matter how well you plan, there are going to be challenges.
There always are.
So we've covered the first 6 steps.
Of the AI-led business transformation strategy success map.
From insight to enablement, we've seen how to lay that solid foundation.
Yep.
Equip our business with the right tech, the right people.
That flexible change strategy.
But we're still missing one crucial piece.
The actual execution.
An actual doing.
We've set the stage.
But now we have to raise the curtain.
And that's where the activation phase comes in.
Okay.
This is where you launch that mission.
And start seeing those tangible results.
This is where it gets real.
I'm excited to see how this comes together. This is where the magic happens.
Where it all comes to life.
We've made it to the activation phase.
This is where we finally turn those plans into action.
The grand finale.
After all that prep work and the insight and enablement phases, getting your business ready for change.
Right. And the first step here in this exciting phase is calibrate journey.
Yeah, calibrate journey. So it's not just about hitting go and hoping for the best.
Right. So what is it about?
It's more like fine-tuning as you go.
Okay.
Think about setting sail on a voyage.
All right.
You have your course charted,
Yeah.
but you still need to adjust your sails along the way, right?
Of course. You got to account for the wind, the currents.
Any unexpected storms.
So you're making sure you're still on track to get where you want to go.
Right, but being flexible enough to adapt to those challenges.
So finding that balance between momentum
And sustainability.
making sure your transformation can go the distance.
And the Calibrate Journey cheat sheet really hits on that.
Does it?
That balance between speed and sustainability.
Okay.
You don't want to rush things and risk burnout, but you don't want to get stuck either.
So how do you find that sweet spot?
Well, the cheat sheet gives some good guidance there.
Okay.
It talks about assessing your journey alignment, analyzing value creation, even optimizing your change cadence.
So we're making sure we're on course, moving at a good pace.
What's next?
What is the next step to bringing this transformation to life?
It's craft approach,
Okay.
where you get down to the nuts and bolts of how you're actually going to execute.
So this is where those strategic plans turn into concrete actions.
Timelines, responsibilities, you're moving beyond those high-level plans.
Yeah.
Developing that detailed operational roadmap.
So we're talking specific steps.
Clear ownership, establishing communication channels.
Keeping everyone informed.
Aligned. You're basically creating the instruction manual for this transformation.
And does the craft approach cheat sheet have any advice here?
Oh, it definitely does.
Like what?
It highlights how important it is to have a structured approach,
Okay.
but one that's also adaptable.
Because you never know what's going to come up.
Exactly. You need a plan that can handle those unexpected challenges.
Or new opportunities. All right, so we've calibrated the journey, crafted our approach.
Time for liftoff.
The final step, launch mission.
This is where you rally the troops, communicate that shared vision,
Get everyone excited.
generate that momentum.
To propel the transformation forward, this is where all those months of planning,
All those months of preparation turn into action.
getting everyone on board, moving in the same direction.
And what does the cheat sheet say about this final step?
What does it say?
It talks about the importance of clear communication, stakeholder alignment, maintaining that momentum.
I bet it's also important to celebrate those early wins.
Dig time, no matter how small.
To keep the energy up.
Reinforce the value of all this.
Keep everyone motivated.
Absolutely. Recognizing those achievements, acknowledging all the hard work.
So we've reached the end of this AI-led business transformation strategy success map.
9 crucial steps.
From insight to enablement to activation.
It's quite a journey.
But before we go, I want to circle back to those AI avatars we talked about.
Oh, yeah.
Where did they fit into all of this?
Those personalized digital assistants.
Guiding you, supporting you throughout the transformation.
Think of them as co-pilots.
On this journey.
Providing insights, flagging potential roadblocks, suggesting solutions.
Like an AI-powered GPS.
For business transformation.
I like that.
Helping you navigate, making sure you reach your destination.
So what does all of this mean for you, the listener?
We've given you two powerful frameworks here.
The BusinessGPS.ai Ascend model and this AI-led business transformation strategy success map.
A roadmap for your own transformation.
And we've seen how AI can be such a valuable tool.
Not to replace human leadership, but to enhance it.
Guiding you to a more innovative and successful future.
These frameworks give you a structured approach.
Breaking a complex task down into manageable steps.
And those readiness cheat sheets are your guideposts along the way.
But in the end, the success of your transformation comes down to you.
Your commitment.
Your willingness to embrace change.
Your ability to lead.
Through this incredible journey.
We've only scratched the surface here.
We've covered a lot of ground.
So we encourage you to really explore those source materials.
Especially the cheat sheets.
Use them to assess your own organization.
Identify areas to focus on.
And start planning your transformation journey.
Remember, even the most ambitious transformations begin with a single step.
Take that step today. Who knows? You might just ascend to new heights.
Until next time, happy transforming.
Well said. And to all our listeners out there, remember, you don't have to figure this all out on your own. There are tools, resources like BusinessGPS.ai that can guide you, empower your teams, and help you unlock the incredible potential that's already within your company. So keep exploring, keep innovating, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible in the business world. That's a wrap for today's deep dive. Until next time.